Back into it, Big Ten Media Days with the Average Joe Sports Show. Head Husker Matt Rhule with us. Coach, thanks for a few minutes. We'll get into football in a moment, but I want to ask you, how much Ozzy Osbourne do you have on your playlist?
Wow, not a lot. No,
Well,
I'm
Ozzy
sorry.
Ozzy passed today,
Oh,
so
did he
that's why I
really?
ask. Yes.
Oh, yeah, not a lot.
Way to
Okay.
Not a
start
lot.
the interview on a positive note there,
Well, I
Schmidt.
was just asking.
A
I mean,
little more country bent to my playlist. I'm sorry.
okay. Well, so country it is. And let's talk a little bit about Nebraska 2025, Coach. And in the podium session, you talked about a team that's growing up. And what are some of those traits you've been able to witness with your team as they've transitioned out of year three with you?
I think the biggest thing is when they lean into and embrace doing hard things. You have to put the work in before you can have success. And so a lot of people wait for success to prove that the hard work is worth it. They kind of put their toe in. The guys we have, I've seen them dive into that pool and holding each other accountable to it as they do it. And so I think when you have guys who really want to do the hard workouts, the extra stuff, hold each other accountable, that's what a team looks like. And we're seeing that this year.
Coach, so much is made about this being year three of a Matt Rhule era. You had great success at Temple. Had great success at Baylor. What differences and similarities are there in this third Nebraska football team that gives you the confidence that you can have the kind of success that you've had and so many people continue to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing. I think, really it's taken 3 years at most places just because we walked into places that hadn't been winning. We walked into a place at Baylor that was going through a scandal. We walked into a place at Temple that was coming off a 4-7 year that, jumped up in conferences. We came to a place, in Nebraska, obviously, that hadn't been to a bowl game since 2016. And so, that's usually indicative of like, hey, your roster's not where it needs to be or there's something wrong. And so, the first thing you have to do is, obviously get the staff right and get the process right, but you're also trying to get the roster right. And so some of that's just watching those guys grow up, some of the guys that played for us 2 years ago that are still playing for us now, their bodies look completely different. The investment that Troy's made in nutrition, the investment that, Corey and those guys have made in the weight room. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. And, what we do is hard. I come in and things aren't traditional. I'm not a cookie cutter. It's difficult for people at first. They have to figure out kind of, what's the process. The second year, they kind of get it. They're still pushing back. The third year, we hope they take it and run with it. It's theirs. And make no mistake, that third year at Baylor, I think we won 3 or 4 games, like either on the last drive or in overtime. I mean, it wasn't easy. Temple, we won games, down the stretch on miracle plays. And so the players have to go do it. The coaches have to coach it. The players have to go do it. But I see a team that's as bought in as those other teams were. So I'm excited.
Coach, one of the reasons why Husker fans out there have some confidence going into this season is what they saw at the end of last year from Dana Holgorsen, what they saw in the bowl game from Coach John Butler. When you look at those two sides of the ball, it's a new coordinator in each spot. If it all lives up to your own expectations, what's a word you'd use to describe how that offense will play in 2025? What's a word you'd use to describe how that defense is going to play in 2025?
I'd say offensively, I'd say that they'd execute. A lot was made about how, we kind of cut the playbook down when Dana took over. And when you cut the playbook down, what that does is that puts pressure on the players to go make plays. You're not going to surprise people. You're not going to get them. You cut the playbook down. Now the guys, they know the play's coming. You have to run it anyway. And I think the one thing people need to know about Dana is he holds people highly accountable. Like he doesn't care who you are, how many plays you made last week. If you're not prepared, if you're not executing, you're not going to play. I think with John, I'd like to just see us continue to be an attacking defense. I don't want to just sit back and catch people. I want to see us get after the quarterback, change looks, be an offensive defense. And I've liked the way we've played the last 2 years. John's brought some great ideas that I think will just take it to the next level.
Coach, what do you like about the potential versatility, some of the pieces you have on defense?
Well, I think we have great players on defense, and I think we have a lot of guys who could play. And so, guys like Javen Wright, people don't really talk about Javen that often, but or maybe they do, and I just don't hear it. But Javen, to me, is a difference maker. Obviously he had a tough year last year with the blood clots, still played really good football, can stop the run, can affect the quarterback. But, you can have him play man-to-man on anybody, and he's going to lock them down. And so we have some guys that you can really do a lot of different things with. Shavers can play linebacker, he can go up, he can rush. Willis McGahee, the same type of player. We have a lot of guys that can play multiple spots, a lot of depth in the back end. So it'll really be a fight for guys to get on the field.
Matt, getting back to your coordinators, how significant was it for you to have Dana Holgerson on staff during the hiring season already? For example, Gus Malzahn goes from Central Florida to Florida State after the season. Jim Knowles goes from Ohio State to Penn State after the season. You got almost 2 full months with Dana in your office. John Butler's already on your staff, and Mike Eckler already knows his way around town. How much does that put you farther ahead when you put those guys in those positions this season?
Well, I think with the way recruiting is now with the portal and bringing guys in and, hey, who fits what we're doing forward, I think one of the reasons why I brought Dana in was I thought we had a lot of players that, I wanted him to have experience with, time with, and are they a fit for us moving forward or not? So I think that was a tremendous advantage. We have a lot of coaches, even the coaches that have changed roles, a lot of people sometimes don't have a lot of great things to say. Like I can't say enough good things about those guys. Like those guys came into a tough situation, a bad football team, and for 2 years they fought and tried to help get us to 7 wins. And so it's easy just to kind of pile on them, but like to me they were the first responders, man. Like they came and they helped us, get the thing going in the right direction. We're always evolving. Dana comes in, but I wanted him to work with Glenn Thomas to see if it was a fix. I think Glenn's a tremendous quarterback coach. I wanted him to work with Donnie. I wanted him to work with EJ. I wanted him to work with Sat. I wanted him to work with Garrett at the time. And as he thought about the staff, I mean, I was shocked that he wanted all those guys to stay. And obviously bringing in Keel was a big thing, but he had a chance to work with them. He liked the energy. He liked the vibe, and that's why I think we're going to be really good because there's still consistency in those rooms moving forward.
Coach, those two coordinators, I know we spent a lot of time on them, but the word I'd use to describe for each of them is just the experience that they bring to those positions. We got to see last year in Chasing 3. How hands-on do you like being on the practice field on game days? Does that change at all your day-to-day life with those two guys running your offense, running your defense?
Yeah, no, because I'm not hands-on in terms of like, hey, I want this play or that play. I mean, I think there's a time as the head coach where you have to manage the game. Hey, let's do this here, let's do that here. I think the biggest thing for me is I care very much about the way we practice. I care very much about the physicality of practice, the execution of practice, and so for me that will never change. And I think if you're a confident coordinator, you love that because you have a head coach who's backing you as you're demanding execution. And so a lot of people talk to me about play calling and all those different things. To me, great players that know what they're doing, that have executed the play in practice, they make those plays in the game. And so I'll always have intensity on game day, on practice. On game day, I'm going to let the coordinators call it. If I see something, I'll say it. But for the most part, they've done the job all week. We'll have a plan, and we'll go execute it, let the guys make plays.
Matt Rhule with us here on the Average Joe Sports Show. Coach, we'll get you out. Last quick thought on Dylan's comfort level going into the second year.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan, I'd say Dylan's a vet right now. He's ready to go. He's put so much time in. He works so hard. He spends so much extra time. The guys respect him. He knows the offense, like the back of his hand, and he does a great job, especially with our younger quarterbacks, coaching them. And I think when you coach somebody else, you really know what you're talking about. And I'm thrilled with where he is.
Coach, take care. Thanks for a few minutes.
Can I, Coach, if you don't mind, I got one more quick one for you. And I do apologize, Schmidt, but I got to ask about the bull in the weight room this offseason, the big summer of recruiting. Whose idea was that? Did you enjoy having that bull in the weight room? How was that entire experience?
Yeah, no, that was Troy Vincent. Troy, and really Troy, after the first photo shoot of the first official visit, he was like, man, I think it's time we really lean into like who we are. Like, we're in Nebraska. Like, we're an agricultural school. Like so we went and got the tractor, and then the next week it was like, hey, let's one up this. And so we went and got the bull. I had nothing to do with the bull. But, at the end of the day, like players are like, hey, coach, hop on the bull. So I hopped on the bull. I'm a guy grew up in New York City, and here I am riding the bull. But, lead by example, all the things I talked about. But those are all fun things, man. It's great to be at Nebraska. We could do fun things like that. And I enjoyed it.
Coach, thank you so much for
Thanks,
a few
guys.
minutes.